Welcome. Domain Dave again from cheapwinefighter.com with dump in the background. And today we've got a Chardonnay. What do we have here? Let me grab the bottle. Sebastopol Oaks, California Chardonnay 2019. This is a wine from Owl Ridge, which is a kind of a new model for wineries nowadays. They do custom wines. They have a bottling line, so if you're a small winery and you don't have your own bottling line, they'll bottle your wines for you. They'll crush your grapes for you, and they'll make their own brands. And they're just looking at their website, and I have a link on the cheapwinefighter.com review of the Sebastopol Oaks California Chardonnay 2019. They kind of look sort of along the lines. What they're doing here is like Trader Joe's Reserve wines, where you're getting kind of a premium wine at a bargain value price. I think this wine was maybe $11 or so at a local wine shop. And so it's I mean, they're do everything until Wonder Wines kick off and you become a big thing. Just keep the money coming in, and they're doing a really nice job here. And let me take a sip and we'll talk about the wine. Most of the grapes are from Clarksburg or Lodi, which is in the Sacramento Delta. It's the delta that comes off of the San Pablo Bay, which is on the east side of Oakland. And it's also the bay that keeps Napa Valley and Carneros cool enough to have wine. And that's where most of the grapes come from. And there is some of those valleys with these cool breezes can cool things off so you don't really get it too hot. And then they also added some premium Paso Robles grapes in there, just a little bit to add a different element to the mix. And then what they did, I'm going to take another sip because we're talking about what it tastes like. And they don't go into too much detail, but they partially fermented it in French oak barrels. And they said to add a little bit of cream and some spice, which typically speaking at this price range when they're doing French oak, any kind of oak barrels in the fermentation process, typically anything under $10-12 is going to be in a stainless steel tank. And when they do it most of the time, it's a neutral barrel, a barrel that's been used so often that there's no more flavor to give off. But if they actually there must be newer barrels because they're actually looking for cream and spice, and that's something that comes out of French oak. French oak is way more subtler than American oak. There's two different species. American oak's got a wider grain. French oak's tighter, so it's harder to get the flavor out. It's more subtle flavoring. But both are fine. In France, using American oak is, oh my God, but everywhere else is fine. So they use that, and then they age it for unspecified time, and I think there's some malolactic fermentation in here. So this seems to be an inexpensive bottle of wine, and I know Chardonnay's, I think, the largest selling wine in at least America. And there's a lot of competition, so winemakers have to really kind of pull out the stops a little bit for the price, which is kind of a cool thing, because there's a lot of little details here, and they don't go into every single one of them. I think they probably should have, but their website was. They have Owl Ridge has maybe 15 different brands, and they don't go into all of them. There's probably not money in there for it yet, but I think they're doing just fine. I'm gonna take another sip. So what we got here is like that's it. The competition for Chardonnay nowadays, especially in California. Everybody's got their own special take on what Chardonnay is. I hear people tell me that I don't like Chardonnay. I'm thinking every single one's different. I mean, there are some wines that are all in this category and wines in that category, but you almost never find two are the same. And this is really the place to be. This is where the competition is. This is where people have to kind of jump through hoops and get your attention. Inexpensive Chardonnay, once you go above the price, you're starting to get into wineries that have a house style, and you either like their house style or you don't. But these inexpensive ones, this is up for grabs. Everybody's got to kind of get your attention and try to get you to like it and try to do things that they think you want them to do. I mean, one of the flavors they said was buttered popcorn. Like, who doesn't like buttered popcorn? At least I hope you like buttered popcorn. I didn't really get the popcorn taste, but I got a little bit of that buttery. I mean, you get some of those Napa Valley old school wines are so buttery you don't really taste the wine anymore. This just added a little bit of flavor. And I'm all about flavor, in my cheap Chardonnays. That's kind of the thing. When these inexpensive wines are very fruit-forward wines, and the best ones have a little bit of complexity to them and some interest and maybe some personality too. So you're getting wines that are you're pleased to drink. You don't have to think much about it, but if you do, it still tastes great and still interesting. Let me have another sip. It's like my fourth sip. There you go. It's a little Chardonnay from a producer. I think they have made wines for either Aldi or Trader Joe's in the past. They just do a little bit of everything, and this is one of their brands. And so it's not like it's from a major winery that everybody knows about. But also, what I can tell, this wine's getting 90 points in all the different magazines. So there you go. So if you're looking in a wine shop, you're looking for a bargain, you want something that's interesting, tasty, and got personality, it's a Sebastopol Oaks Chardonnay 2019. Now, Sebastopol, if I didn't say it before, is a town that is in Sonoma Coast AVA and the Russian River AVA. They kind of overlap. That's where the winery is located, the Oak Ridge, the Owl Ridge, not this one. But there you go. So that's it for me, Domain Dave from cheapwinefounder.com. Like us where you like your podcast, if you will. Just push the button. It does us good, so please, thank you. Please and thank you. And stay safe and stay healthy. And I don't know if to say cooler or warmer anymore because we're in the middle of that. So adios, keep it cheap, and I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days. I have a charity wine coming up. It's been around for a while, but it's a really good story. So I'll be talking to you in a few days. Adios. Bye-bye.